Is this video for sailing and entertainment purposes only? You're dang skippy it is.
Everlyn did not shower.
Hello everybody. In today's video, we're talking about Nikocado Avocado calling out the one, the only, our girl, the most entertaining, riveting girl in school. Amber, Hans Christian Amberlin, Pookie Reed is the most popular girl in school. Girl. So basically, Nick wrote a very interesting comment on Amber's video that we will look at. Amber posted a video that I don't really want to talk about because it's just a personification of all the lying she's done for the last few months. So love that for you, Pookie. And so we're going to talk about the drama there, and we're going to talk about Foodie Beauty. The second part of this video is about Foodie Beauty getting kicked out of her apartment, lying to a cat rescue place, being caught out there, and the biggest drama and the biggest lie, and raging, saying, do your worst to me. Like, honestly, Chantal, I would not encourage your audience. So we're going to get into it. If you could not tell already by this ridiculous intro, everything I'm saying is just for entertainment purposes only. Please don't take anything I say seriously. I'm sharing opinions, not facts, on publicly accessible information, first made public by public figures. Please don't go to these people's channels and leave mean-spirited negative comments. Entertainment purposes only. So on Amber's new video, Nick left the following comment. I checked. It's him. This is him writing this, okay? Just checking in to see if anything's changed. Nope, nothing's changed. Okay, so I guess this is a reference, in my opinion, to nothing changing in Amber's life. This is just yet another weigh-in and, typical same old, same old. Okay. So the first thing I want to say is Amber keeps saying that her and Nick used to be friends. My personal opinion, not a fact, but I'm 100 on this, is that they were not friends. They were not besties. I think they were friendly. Amber always says that they used to text, and a good indicator of Amber's character is that Amber says that she has a bunch of old phones with the messages between her and Nick. Yeah, that's not oddly weird, suspicious, and shows exactly the type of person that she is, but okay. So she says that they used to be friends, and she always says that he was like mean to her and all this nonsense. Okay. So in the past, Nick has discussed her before. That's fine. They were friendly, and then something happened when they stopped being friendly. This is just my opinion. It's got to be something that happened between them. It's got to be some knowledge that was attained that stopped them being besties. I mean, don't you think? What do you all think? Leave it in the dislikes and comments down below. Here's the thing. Amber says that they were friends, right? Okay. Amber, in my personal opinion, does not see the world for what it is. Here's a few examples. She thinks that when men say a compliment to her, they all want her, not understanding, no matter how many times us girls tell her that guys will hit on whoever just because they're trying to see who is interested in them for only one reason, right? But Amber thinks she's like the queen of the world, and as she says, it puts a little pep in her step. Why would it put a pep in your step for a man to hit on you, right? She's misunderstanding what men are saying to her. Another example, a deeper one. How she doesn't see reality for what it is. Okay, so we have her dating a woman, never meeting her for a year. The woman was married, Valentine, right? And Amber actually believing that even though this woman did not put in a single effort to come and meet up with her, and she was married, this woman was supposedly moving in with her of August of last year. Please make it make sense, because it doesn't make any sense to me personally how an adult can believe that all of these things are true. Why did I bring up these examples? There is no way that she was best friends with Nikocado Avocado. Them communicating on the internet or through text messages does not make them friends. Look, there's a lot of people that you can be friendly, but friends and friendly are two different things. Yeah, so nothing has changed. Amber is a deceiver and will continue to deceive her audience into something is about to change, but it won't. You know how every single January she starts a big health journey, and I say that it's disingenuous and it's manipulative of the new audience that she gets. Why am I saying this? Amber knows that in the new year, people always try to do new me, same Kermit, new me going to change their health status. They join the gym, whatever. She wants to manipulate and immediately grab those type of people on her channel to make them believe that she's doing the same thing when she's only doing that for money. She's not doing the same thing. I don't talk about any of the stuff that she posted recently, the weight. I don't judge her on it. I wish her all the best with it. I'm not going to make any comments about it. This is about the lies and manipulation only, not about any numbers, not about her videos or anything like that. Amber, here's something I have to say about your recent video that has nothing to do with the technical subject matter. You clearly, Amber Reed, Pookie Reed, my favorite YouTuber, you told us in your videos about, weighing myself and what I consume in a day. You said you're stopping those videos because people are not understanding, they're mean to you, and I can understand that, right? And I said, hey, don't share those type of videos and people won't say that type of stuff, right? But I can understand. I can sympathize, with her where she's saying, people are mean to me. Okay, I understand. Then don't make those videos. But that wasn't the reason. You knew that something was off, that what you were saying is a bunch of lies to your audience, right? You knew that you weren't sharing the right information. Instead of coming on and saying, I'm stopping these type of videos for a while, she's back to making them now. But instead of coming on, remember, her reason was, well, I'm stopping these videos because, people are so mean to me. No, the reason was actually that you were providing false information about your health status. And when you found out about it, you thought that the doctor was wrong. You were right at home and you didn't tell your audience about it for months and gave false information. Your videos are not true. The information that you show is not true. And don't give me none of that stuff that, oh, well, I had no idea. You did know. You said you knew something was off. So this is not about the actual subject matter that she is showing you. Not at all. This is about the lies. I have a problem with continuously her being paid for lying to her audience on her channel. So as far as Nick saying, hey, nothing has changed, I think nothing has changed. I think he's 100% right. Even your former people that you used to text with, that you still kept their text messages because you're trying to expose something, know about your amazing, fantastic character. I love that for you, Pookie Reed. One more point, and this is just me being realistic. Amber always says that she doesn't like what Nick says to her, about her, or whatever, right? So why does Amber say not nice things and negative things about others? You do it all the time, and then you accuse somebody else of doing it, right? Okay, so some more things I wanted to say from Amber's new video. So the thing is, Amber always, Pookie Reed, my favorite YouTuber, she always tells on herself. If you remember, Amber always says that she puts a lot of time and effort into her videos. She edits in the bathroom, so that should give one pause. And it takes hours for her to edit. Remember, it takes hours to make videos and hours to edit, and she just puts a lot of effort into the video. I am not saying this because of any other reason other than I know what it's like to be on camera. I am telling you right now, she does not put the effort that she claims that she does, because as somebody that used to be on camera, and see, I can speak about both things, being on camera, not being on camera. It's different types of efforts that you have to put in. How can this woman say that she puts in effort and takes hours to edit and do all these things for YouTube? She says she loves filming. She says she loves editing. Remember that. She loves filming, she loves editing, she loves YouTube. In her new video, it's very dark in the video, and she literally says, oh, the light went out, there's no light, but at least we have a cozy vibe. This is the only light I have from some other room. I have no light. Amber, since you are on camera, everybody that is on camera either gets one or two things, a ring light or a softbox. The point is, this woman had a ring light and she decided to get rid of it because she cares so much about her audience, right? And making great videos. Here's the thing. When you are on camera, the number one thing that you need to understand is you need to be well lit. This is a big thing if you're on camera. If you're not on camera, like currently I'm not on camera, the number one thing is the quality of your audio, because all the audience has is your voice, right? So like the microphone, I've gone through a bunch of different mics to try to figure out, and by the way, it's not perfect. I make mistakes all the time in my videos and have to fix things, but that's the whole point. At least I'm trying. I don't understand how this woman can't even turn on a light a candle or something for her to tell you your face, I put in so much effort into my videos. I'm sitting there. I love editing. Okay, do you know how I know that she doesn't like editing? She has the camera fall down sometimes when she's filming. This happened to me many times. Usually you're supposed to take it out of a video unless you want it to be like a funny little meme. Okay, I understand that. But she never takes out her camera falling because she doesn't like to edit. So she's not editing it out. How is a YouTuber who is on camera, who's been on camera for over 10 years, doesn't understand that she needs to be well lit and threw out her ring light and has enough audacity to say, oh, well, it takes hours to edit. I love YouTube. I love filming. I love editing. Oh, but there's no lighting here. So you're supposed to fix that. Like I said, number one thing, if you're on camera, being well lit. Number one thing, if you're off camera, the audio. Like, it is so wild to me that she goes and tells on herself, and then like she's just hoping that people will not put two and two together. What I notice about her is that she's always hoping that people forget what she said in the past. What you said is it takes you hours to edit. You love editing, you love filming, and you put in all this effort. Amber, you're on camera. You need to be well lit. Why did you throw out your ring light? And these are just like little things that she's lying about. Like, why can't you put an effort into this video by at the very least filming in the morning? There's also something when you're on camera, there's another thing that happens, which is natural light. So you can be artificially lit and you can have natural lighting. When I was on camera, I used to have, sometimes in the beginning, I had like a lot of natural lighting. I would try to film in the morning because of that. You have to put in the effort. And then you could be artificially lit. I mean, my personal opinion on being on camera is artificially lit is best because you can film at 3 a.m. And you know that Pookie is up all night reading reaction channels, comments, and Reddit and Kiwi Farms. But yeah, you want to be well lit. She's put zero effort into this. Here's the thing. I understand that some people are going to be saying, oh my God, this is a small thing. Okay, you know what? On the grand scheme of things, I guess it is. I will give that to the people that are going to say that. I mean, I think that it is important to put effort into your videos, and it shows how much effort you are putting into videos, because especially when it's the job. See, for some people, it's a job. For her, it's the job. This is a vocabulary and math channel. My point here is this. It may seem like a small thing. The reason that I bring it up is if she never went around saying, I put so much effort into my videos, it takes hours, I do this and that, then I would be like, you know what, whatever. We could tell how she feels about YouTube. But for her to blatantly say something that isn't true, I love YouTube, all this other stuff, and to show otherwise, that's why I'm bringing it up. So let's move on to a Foodie Beauty update. So there's two updates with Foodie Beauty. One is typical. She's gotten kicked out of her house. Thanks for nothing. Basically, people doxed her because she was intelligent enough to show the inside of her home. And doxing is when people find out where you live and post it on the internet. Now, my opinion on doxing is that it is always, always wrong. And it really says a lot about a person when they dox somebody, right? Despite who you're doxing, like it's the lowest of the low. And that's all I have to say about that. That is my personal opinion. Doxing is never okay, no matter who you're doing it to. That's first of all, okay? Second of all, Foodie Beauty could have prevented this because she obviously has learned absolutely nothing from her time on YouTube. The number one thing you need to understand is whether you have mainly an audience that loves you or mainly an audience that does not, and that would be the latter for Foodie. You should not be showing identifying markers of your home, especially when your audience has a negative interest in your videos. What Chantal has always been saying is, come do your worst to me and do this to me. And, I don't care, do whatever. I'm still getting a cat. I'm still doing this. And all of you are obsessed with me and sit around and do this and that. And so when you encourage people that already dislike you to do negative things, then negative things happened. What happened is once they doxed her, they started messaging her landlord, who responded to them. And then Chantal went live and did a live stream saying that she was arguing, those are her words, arguing with her landlord. And basically, she decided not to stay there. My personal opinion is that she was kicked out. The only thing I want to say about the whole kicking out thing is, obviously, I have no idea what happens in Canada. I can only speak for certain parts of the United States where I'm from. It is very difficult to kick somebody out of their home, just in general, because when you rent like when you rent an apartment, you have a lease agreement. And at least in certain cities in America, I can't speak for all cities because I don't live in all cities, it is really difficult to actually kick somebody out. Renters have rights, like when you have that's the whole point of having like a lease agreement. That being said, have no idea what's going on in Canada. And also, what it appears like to me, I'm not sure about this, but what it seems like, my opinion, is that she didn't rent an apartment in like an apartment building from like a management company. You understand? From like a, there wasn't like, it didn't seem that way. It seemed like she was renting an apartment in a private house. And those are tricky, even in the United States, because while technically a landlord cannot kick you out, it becomes trickier. Here's the thing. Did she deserve to get kicked out? Well, I don't care. She deserves to be a little bit more smarter about what she does. Why in the world do you dare your audience that doesn't care for your content, it doesn't care for you, to do their worst? Why do you do that? Like, okay, my point is this. All of this could have been prevented if Chantal just didn't show her house. And I think it's about laziness. That's my opinion. That's what it's about. She should have done a green screen or only streamed from outside. Then she comes with this car and she's like, oh, I'm not going to tell you. Maybe I bought the car. Maybe the car, I got it from somebody else. Probably her mother's car. I believe her mom lent her the car. Honestly, Chantal, this whole thing could have been prevented. Do I think it's wrong? Yes. Could have been prevented? Yes. So basically she got kicked out. She's probably staying with her parents and, she's going to get another apartment. Now, the second part of this video and the second part of the update is incredibly infuriating to me. I made a community page post about this. This is like really bad behavior on Chantal's part, but am I surprised? Oh, and before we get into it, I just wanted to say, I think that part of the doxing, one more point, one of the reasons that I think that she was doxed is because people were, and this goes into what I'm about to say, people were very angry that she got a cat and immediately wanted to rehome the cat, Smokey, because he was loud. He was crying. She didn't like that. And everybody had said, do not get a cat. And she was like, I don't care what you say. I don't care what you say. I'm going to get a cat. So there you are. The response is you got doxxed. Okay. Speaking of the cat, basically what Chantal did is reprehensible. It's terrible. It's just really bad behavior. Look, I agreed with her rehoming the cat because she can't take care of the cat. But the way that she went about it is in the poorest of taste. And just like you're going to see, it's no words for this. If you saw my community page post, you may know what I'm talking about. If not, basically, she contacted an animal rescue and lied to them and said that she found a cat in bad condition on the streets and she was leaving the country in the next few days. And if they wouldn't immediately take the cat in, then the cat would perish on the streets and she's leaving the country. For those of you that are thinking that she's leaving the country tomorrow or something like that, look, there's always a chance, but she probably isn't. She did not find Smokey on the streets. She adopted him from another owner. What happened is you worried the cat rescue place, in my opinion, and they posted the following about the situation because you misled them and you lied to them. My screenshot is from French Fry Girl's video. Okay, so this is the cat rescue place and their original Facebook post. I had to take out all the names because there's no need for, anyone to bother them. And they did ask for people, they said that everything is going well. They're going to, let the cat stay there or whatever. A lady visiting Cornwall has found this certain type of cat, talking about the health status, and is seeking immediate help. Does anyone recognize this friendly boy? Contact blank and we can coordinate with Finder. Thank you. And you can see that that's like a picture of Chantal's new cat Smokey that she ASAP tried to get rid of. Here's Chantal Foodie Beauty's immediate urgent email to this cat rescue place. Hi there, I have an urgent matter. I found a cat, very health status, not good, talking about, looks and whatever, but very, very friendly cat on the street. You found him on the street, you pathological liar. You adopted him from another person. And I'm leaving the country in a couple of days. Liar. You are not. It says I have to fill out a form, but can you please urgently make an exception to shelter him? He will, perish on the streets. I've spent time trying to rehome him myself, but nothing, thanks. How much time have you spent, Chantal, trying to rehome this cat? Because it's obvious that you have not spent even a minute. Somebody on my community page said, so what, she didn't want to fill out a form? I think that she wants to get rid of that cat as soon as possible. She thought that the cat would be just like every other cat and wasn't loud. Do I think that being loud or like, crying or this is like normal for a lot of cats? Like, do I think this is a reason to get rid of a cat? No. But see, like, here's the problem. Chantal is not only a pathological deceiver and Girl, you a lie. But deeper than that, you felt you had to lie to this organization because you don't want to take care of a cat. You're lying that you're leaving the country in a day. You're lying you found him on the streets. Notice how she talked about the cat's physicality to, drum up this, urgent need. Oh, please take him now. He's going to perish on the streets. You should not be allowed near animals. You mistreated BBJ and Sam. BBJ and Sam, you never took them to the vet ever. You let her nails, BBJ's nails, be really long. You knew about it. You didn't care. She had urinary tract infections. She had issues with her teeth. She was matted. She had certain things stuck to her. Like, this is just absolutely unacceptable. We told you not to adopt another cat because who adopts a cat when they can't take care of themselves? The way you lied to this rescue place, the way you worried them for nothing, the way you ASAP wanted to get rid of this cat says everything I need to know about you. And the amazing part, going back to the original portion of this video in the beginning, she's learned nothing. She actually thought this wouldn't get out. You lied to them. You said that you found him on the street. So of course the cat rescue place was going to try to find their owner. Now the cat rescue place, from last I heard, is saying, they're going to take him in. He's going to be fine, all that, because he's not lost. You lied. You lied about everything. Why couldn't you just tell the truth? Why didn't you just say, listen, I adopted this cat. I just moved back to my country of origin. I can't really take care of myself right now. I can't take care of the cat. They would have adopted him either way. This type of behavior, it's not just the lies. It's the urgency with which she makes up lies and then thinks it's not going to come out. You've learned nothing about not being doxxed. You've learned nothing about people exposing you. You deserve whatever is coming towards you as far as your audience and as far as like people not caring for your content. The reason that people have a problem with Chantal is the same reason why people have a problem with Amber. It has nothing to do with superficial stuff or none of that. It's because of character and how they act. Chantal, you should be ashamed of yourself. You adopted this cat, you tried to ASAP get rid of him, and you had to lie. By the way, I'm sure that somebody is thinking this or wants to write this or is in the process of writing this. I've been making videos for a long time. I pretty much know what people are probably going to say. Someone is about to comment this. Since whatever is in the best interest of Smokey the cat, as long as Chantal was rehoming him and needed to get him a home ASAP, isn't it okay that she lied to this cat rescue place just this once? I'm about to answer this. First of all, I am not unreasonable and I am a realist. I understand reality. I could understand maybe you can have some type of sympathy for a person that has never had a cat before. And maybe they're struggling in their life and they just need to rehome a cat. And, they just didn't know how it was going to be. They're having a lot of serious struggles. This is not the case for Chantal. This is not the first time that Chantal has done this. She has had numerous cats throughout the years. For somebody out there to believe that it's okay to worry and mislead the cat rescue place just because she was impulsive and quite frankly highly intelligent in adopting this cat. Like, this was clearly a poor choice because she cannot, and I'm serious, cannot take care of herself. She has now out a home, supposedly, because she was so intelligent online that they doxed her. She cannot take care of herself. The woman didn't think she needed an AC. The woman has broken toes, diabetes, never once thought, hey, maybe I should see a doctor. The point is, this is not the first time she's had cats. She should have understood the responsibility that comes with it. No, it's not okay to worry and lie to a rescue place like this. By the way, after all of this happened, she did a rage live stream for like 39 minutes or 40 minutes. And these were some of the highlights. And by highlights, I do not mean that they were very nice. Okay. So basically, she starts raging and says that reaction channels are basically trying to like perpetuate and like really promote doxing, and when she has a minute because she's so busy, she's going to come after all the reaction channels and she's going to take them down and all this other stuff. First things first, you, my dear, are a person that continuously tries to dox people. Just recently, you were asking for the commenters' names. You were asking for their dox for real. How can you possibly blame other people for what you are doing all the time? But the fun part is no one is encouraging doxing. I think most reaction channels did say that they think doxing is wrong, but you asked for this situation by constantly being very intelligent on the internet and showing your house, knowing how your audience is. And even in this live stream, what she says is, oh, do your worst. Try to take me down. You're bothering that organization and all this other stuff. How dare you bother that organization? You want to try to take me down, all this other stuff. Chantal, you know, with your audience and with how people feel about how you mistreat animals, I would not keep asking for it. You already had to leave your new apartment. And by the way, she gives this BS like, oh my God, I was depressed there anyways. You would have never left that house. You would have never left that apartment that you just literally, as Hans Christian Ambelin would say, you just literally rented it. You were never going to leave. Anyways, this thing about reaction channels is silly. No reaction channels perpetuated the doxing of anybody, okay? And you saying that you don't have, she actually says, I don't have the time to come after you right now, but I will for the reaction channels. You have nothing but time. You're staying clearly at your parents and going to Starbucks. What else are you doing? Looking for the apartment that, wow, 7 hours, 6 hours, 7 hours it took her to find an apartment. Wow, I can't hardly believe myself. You don't have any time to go after reaction channels? Of course you do. You don't want to. Listen, I've said this before. If, you know, French fry girl, if whoever's that, I don't even know now, whoever's the top, you know, people that talk about foodie beauty, like that getting a lot of views or whatever, and keeping the community going. If these people didn't talk about you every day, I just don't think that people would want to watch your videos. You and Amber exist in a community that perpetuates actually making you money by talking about you. There's only one thing that is worse than being talked about negatively, and that's not being talked about. No such thing as bad publicity. So all your BS about reaction channels is exactly that. If you really wanted to take them down, you would. She says that people are harassing the organization, like she says they're bothering that, organization, the cat rescue, and why are you doing that? You had no right to contact them. People had every right to let that cat organization know, that cat rescue place know, that you lied through your teeth to them and that you're not leaving the country tomorrow, and that you didn't find him on the streets, and that he's not going to perish on the streets, and that you have a history of animal mistreatment, and that's a kind word that I'm using here for what I really want to say, and that the cat is not lost. Let me put it to you very simply, Chantal. You blatantly lied to this woman at the cat rescue place and said that the cat was lost. He's not. She was taking away resources from her job, from her time, trying to find the owner of Smokey when you are the owner of Smokey. And shouldn't you be ashamed of that? The reason that people were messaging her a lot is because this woman does amazing, great work trying to place cats and rescue cats for a forever home, right? You, by your vindictive, ridiculous lies, you took time away from the time that she could have been helping other cats. That is why people had every right to message her. And what you're not understanding is, yet again, for your community that watches you, you've been caught in blatant lies. Example of this blatant lie is has enough audacity. She actually says this in this video. In her live stream, she says, I told you a version of a story about Smokey and, like what happened, how I got him, and you don't really know what happened. I'm never going to tell you. So here she is admitting that when she told you how, she got Smokey from the owner that he used to have and all this other stuff, she told you a version of events, not the truth. Chantal, this is why you're always going to have a bad relationship with your audience. Now, I have this to say. I think that Amber genuinely is upset that people dislike her, but I think Chantal is not. But just in case if you were wondering, why do you constantly admit to lying and hope things are going to be okay for you? She then says that she doesn't want to visit Sam because it's going to make her sad, but she gets updates. Sam is the cat that was so mad that his fur had to be cut, right? Like, had to be shaved off. That's another cat that she rehomed. Fun times. Cutie, foodie beauty. Anyways, terrible. Then she's like, yeah, I don't want to give Smokey to this cat rescue because I know that, like FFG pretty much is going to go and adopt him and she'll never give updates. That makes no sense. If you genuinely wanted for Smokey to have the best possible home, you wouldn't care who he was with as long as he had the best possible home. In her comments section, right, there was a message saying, are you going to give updates on Julia? And she said, why not ask for updates on BBJ? Because BBJ, right, BBJ is not your cat anymore. How are we going to ask for updates on BBJ when a total stranger is the owner of BBJ now, right, who doesn't have a public YouTube channel, okay? You are still the owner of Julia, right? Chantal, listen, I could go on. I'm not going to. This woman's behavior is just really terrible. I wish I knew something like cool and fun to say, but there's nothing fun about people that mistreat animals. And then she finishes strong and says this, give me one reason why I shouldn't have another cat. I'm going to have another cat. I want to know one reason why I shouldn't have another cat. Because every cat you get, you rehome after a few years or ASAP. You have demonstrated right here, my dear, that you cannot have another cat. You move to Canada, you get a cat, you rehome him ASAP because he's loud. Then I noticed that you keep talking about certain superficial things about the cat, right? Why does this matter to you so much, Chantal? You don't want people to judge you for certain things. Why are you judging this cat? It's so wild. It's as if it's like the cat's fault. Look, this is the bottom line. The reason that you shouldn't have animals is because you clearly don't want them and you clearly cannot take care of yourself and you don't want to take care of other animals. If you were able to take care of Smokey, then you would have. There's no shame in saying I can barely take care of myself. I actually don't go to the doctor for my diabetes. I just let it run rampant. I actually broke 2 toes and possibly my foot, haven't gone to the doctor. I actually believed seriously that I could live without an air conditioner. The point is, there's no harm in saying, you know what? I can barely take care of myself. I say these things to prove to you, never mind, it's common sense. She cannot take care of herself. That's why you shouldn't have animals. First of all, what happened to Sam and BBJ after you were done with them is reprehensible. It's outrageously bad. That's why you shouldn't have animals. But even if somebody could be on the fence and be like, well, she did have Julia. By the way, the reason that Julia was quote unquote well taken care of is because Salah was there. She wasn't taking, listen, don't you, do you understand what I'm saying here? She can't take care of a cat by herself. She can't, because Salah was there. He was doing a lot of work. Look, honestly, Chantal, we all know here that you're going to continue to get other animals. We know that, right? The only thing I will say here is you taunting your audience and telling them, oh, do your worst, do this, do that, is only going to come back to bite you in the Kermit. All right, well, that's about it for today's video. I want to thank you all so very much for watching today. I appreciate you being here. If you enjoyed today's video, check out this other video that's popping up here. You may enjoy it, you may not enjoy it, and don't enjoy it, leave it a dislike. Let me know your thoughts and comments in the comments down below, and I will see you next time. Thanks for watching. Bye.